Bible go hand in hand? In this video, we explore fascinating connections between scientific discoveries and biblical wisdom. From the origins of the universe to the mysteries of stars, find out how this ancient scripture aligns with the modern science in surprising ways. Here are some biblical verses that have been proven by science. Some things which were proven by science were already written in the Bible some centuries ago. Let's skip into the video. The Great Flood likely happened. The Great Flood and Noah's Ark is one of the most popular stories of the Bible, and according to geological evidence, the Noachian flood might have actually happened. National Center for Science Education have researched about the flood and gave a report stating that yes, Noah's flood may have happened, but not on whole earth, but certain parts of the earth the flood was happened. In the year 2014, the students of University of Leicester stated that Noah's Ark might have floated. According to the calculations made by physics students at the university, the ark would have actually floated and safely carried pairs of each animal species through the flood. The students from the Department of Physics and Astronomy at the University of Leicester who came to this conclusion used the dimensions for the boat that were given in the Bible. Even with two of every animal on board, physicists have determined based on the weight of the beast and the buoyancy of the boat, Noah's Ark would have floated. Science has proven David could have actually defeated Goliath. A small boy defeating a giant might sound unlikely, but the story of David and Goliath in 1 Samuel 17 says otherwise. A slingshot might not be the most powerful weapon, but the stones from Elah Valley were made of barium sulfate, which is extremely dense, and these would have easily hurt Goliath. But there is more. Being a giant, Goliath likely suffered from acromegaly or production of growth hormone. This can cause problems with vision, and peripheral vision can be limited, which would have been handy for David. The mineral that stones in that valley consist of barium sulfate, which has a density of 4.5 grams per cubic centimeter. Most of the major rock-forming minerals in the Earth's crust like quartz, feldspar and calcite have every similar densities around 2.6 to 3.0 grams per cubic centimeter. So barium sulfate is about twice as dense as ordinary stones. A ballistic analysis shows that if barium sulfate stone well slung at 100 meters, the stone has an equal impact as a 45 caliber handgun. The earth is round and suspended. By around 500 BC, most ancient Greek astronomers believed that earth was round, not flat, but they had no idea how big the planet is until about 240 BC. In the 3rd century BC, the ancient Greek astronomer Eratosthenes confirmed that the earth was spherical in shape, and he also accurately calculated the earth's circumference. Modern science has confirmed the shape of our planet as round, but this was mentioned in the Bible in the 6th century itself. In the book of Isaiah 40:22 verses, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. The planet's core is hot. Between 1929 and 1939, seismologist Inge Lehmann compared various data sets from earthquakes to conclusively prove that the Earth's core was hot. If you see the scripture, Job 28:5 mentions it. The earth from which food comes is transformed below as by fire. Earth floats in space. In 1610, Galileo turned his new telescope towards Venus. To his amazement, he saw the planet pass through phases just like the moon. Galileo correctly surmised that this could happen only if Venus had an orbit closer to the Sun than Earth's orbit. In the year 19th century, Giuseppe Piazzi, Nicolas Copernicus stated that the Earth was not stationary. And if you are looking for the biblical confirmation that the Earth floats in space, then look into Job 26:7, which says, He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. Water changes its state. The modern theory of the water cycle was discovered by Bernard Palissy in 1580 CE. The water cycle, also known as the hydrologic cycle, is a well-known phenomenon. It turns out the Bible mentions it more than once. Ecclesiastes 1:7 says, all streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. Amos 9:6 also mentions it in one part. He calls for the waters of the sea and pours them out over the face of the land. And so does Job 36:27 to 28 verses. He draws up the drops of water which distill as rain into the streams. The clouds pour down their moisture and abundant showers fall on mankind. Another example can be found in Psalms 135:7, which reads, He makes clouds rise from the ends of the earth. He sends lightning with the rain and brings out the wind from his storehouses. Not all stars are equal. The Bible also mentions that stars' brightness or magnitude varies. 1 Corinthians 15:41 says that the sun has one kind of splendor, the moon another, and the stars another, and star differs from star in splendor. The universe is made up of invisible particles. Hebrews 11:3 reads, By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. It sounds like the Bible is talking about atoms, protons, neutrons, and electrons on their own, which are invisible to the naked eye. Atoms make up pretty much everything, including us. There are mountains underwater. These landforms are actually called sea mounds and are mentioned in the Bible. Psalms 104:6 reads, You covered it with the watery depths as with a garment. The water stood above the mountains. Creatures can't live without blood. Blood plays an essential role in our bodies. Losing too much of it can result in shock and ultimately death. It is written in the Bible decades ago about the importance of the blood for the living creatures. In Leviticus 17:11 says that, For the life of a creature is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for yourselves on the altar. Sanitizing is really important. The pandemic has made us all pros in sanitizing our hands and clothes in order to avoid spreading germs. But the Bible mentioned its importance a long time ago. For instance, Leviticus 11:28 says that anyone who picks up their carcasses must wash their clothes and they will be unclean till evening. Isolation. From ancient times, different people have adopted different strategies to prevent the contagious disease. One of these is exactly what we call the isolation. We all aware of COVID pandemic. During the pandemic, the person who are affected should stay away from others and should avoid contacting with other people for 7 days. If the symptoms are not yet reduced, still the person has to wait for 7 more days. But this isolation was advised in the Bible long before the decades. In the Old Testament, Leviticus 13:1 to 5 says that the affected person should be isolated for 7 days by the priest. If the disease is not yet reduced, they has to isolate for another 7 days. So these are the things where some parts of the Bible were proven by science. If you like this information, kindly share this video. Thank you.